Hello and welcome to Stardesk, where I explore the fascinating world of technology. In today's video, I'm going to talk about two of the most impressive CPUs from AMD, the Ryzen Threadripper and the Ryzen Epyc. You may have heard of these names before, but do you know what they actually do and how they compare to each other and to the regular Ryzen CPUs? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the Ryzen Threadripper. This is a brand of high-end desktop, HDT processors that offer more cores and threads than any other consumer CPU on the market. Cores and threads are the units of processing power that a CPU has, and the more of them, the better the CPU can handle multiple tasks at once. For example, the latest generation of Threadripper CPUs, the 5000 series, has up to 64 cores and 128 threads, which is twice as much as the Ryzen 9 5950X, the flagship of the Ryzen 5000 series. But why would anyone need so many cores and threads? Well, the Threadripper CPUs are mainly aimed at professionals who work with heavy-duty applications that require a lot of computing power, such as video editing, 3D rendering, animation, simulation, and so on. These applications can benefit from having more cores and threads, as they can split the workload among them and finish the tasks faster and more efficiently. The Threadripper CPUs also have more memory and PCIe lanes than the Ryzen CPUs, which means they can support more and faster RAM and storage devices, as well as more expansion cards, such as graphics cards, sound cards, network cards, etc. However, the Threadripper CPUs are not cheap. They are much more expensive than the Ryzen CPUs, and they also require a special motherboard with a different socket, the STRX4, which is also more costly and has fewer options than the AM4 and AM5 socket used by the Ryzen CPUs. Moreover, the Threadripper CPUs are not very optimized for gaming, as most games don't need that many cores and threads, and they tend to favor higher clock speeds, which is the frequency at which the CPU operates. The Threadripper CPUs have lower clock speeds than the Ryzen CPUs, which means they may not perform as well in some games. Now let's talk about the Ryzen Epyc. This is a brand of server-grade processors that share the same architecture as the Ryzen and Threadripper CPUs, but they are designed for different purposes and applications. The Epyc CPUs are mainly focused on the server and embedded system market, where they provide unmatched multi-core performance, scalability, security, and efficiency. These CPUs have a specific purpose, and they are tailored to perform specific tasks. The Epyc CPUs have even more cores and threads than the Threadripper CPUs, up to 128 cores and 256 threads in the latest generation, the 7003 series, and maybe you can't find this online. They also support more memory and PCIe lanes, up to 4 terabytes of octa-channel memory and 128 PCIe lanes. These features allow the Epyc CPUs to handle massive amounts of data and run multiple virtual machines and containers with ease. The Epyc CPUs also have some exclusive features that are important for servers, such as AMD Infinity Guard, which is a suite of security technologies that protect the data and the system from various threats. However, the Epyc CPUs are not meant for consumer use. They are very expensive, and they also require a special motherboard with a different socket, the SP3, which is not widely available. They also have very low base clock speeds, as low as 1.8 GHz, which means they are not suitable for single-threaded tasks or gaming. The Epyc CPUs are optimized for running multi-core programs that can take advantage of their massive processing power, such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, big data analysis, and so on. So to summarize, the Ryzen Threadripper and the Ryzen Epyc are two of the most powerful CPUs from AMD, but they have different purposes and features. The Threadripper CPUs are for professionals who need a lot of computing power for their applications, while the Epyc CPUs are for servers and embedded systems that need to handle massive amounts of data and run multiple virtual machines and containers. The Ryzen CPUs are for consumers who want a balance between performance and price and who mainly use their PCs for gaming and content creation. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the world of AMD processors. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more computer-related videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Till the time, goodbye.
Fucking around off the grind, no. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, we're tryna play cool. Baby, I ain't playing by your rules. Everything look better with the view.